Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe, with my other buddy on the other side, Mr. Cantu.
How's it going? RP Big Pokey.
RIP Big Pokey, Houston icon, uh, passed away tragically on stage. And of course, when it's any Houston legend, Houston rapper, or anything like that, it's a big loss in the Houston area. But condolences to the family out there. And hey, as far as the weekend, I mean, I think everybody had a great Father's Day. We were talking before we started about our Father's Day, how everything was going. But hopefully, everybody else had a great Father's Day. Um, Dads all around there, or that one parent that played both parties, wearing both hats, being a mother and a father, or vice versa. So, like I said, hopefully everybody had a great Father's Day weekend. But the Astros, on the other hand, did not have a good weekend. Baseball weekend, really. The Reds are red hot. Now we're talking about that too off the air, and a game winning streak, like you were telling me too. I mean, they're second in the division in the NL Central. So
Yeah.
I mean, you got to tip your cap to that team, especially if the team's red hot like the Reds. They're going to go to your place and they're going to steamroll you. And they did steamroll the Astros in one of the games. The second game, it was like 10-3, I believe.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it was a very disappointing series. I'm not even going to ask you one word because, I mean, it was very disappointing. The bats didn't help out, pitching as well. I mean, everything, even fielding. I mean, there were so many errors too in this
Yeah.
series. In the homestand right now, it's crazy. The guys might have to do some fungo a little bit more before and after games. But I want to ask you something. Is it time to panic? If you are an Astros fan, is it time to panic about how the team is performing right now with a 39-32 record and being third in the AL West behind the Texas Rangers and the Los Angeles Angels?
I wouldn't say no. There's no reason to panic yet. I think Astros fan has just been so blessed of how the Astros have been playing in recent years that this minor setback has like the whole fan base freaking out and
Hmm.
frustrated. But it's part of baseball. Like baseball is a tough sport to play. You're gonna have your ups and your downs, but at the end of the day, the Astros have a ton of veterans out there that and they're gonna get it right. I
Hmm.
think right now what we're just seeing is the Jordan Alvarez effect,
Yeah.
where the Astros are not seeing that they relied so heavily on Jordan Alvarez that when he's not in the lineup, like it's like they look lost up there. I feel like there's some at bats where they've just been out pitched, like outmatched, or not, or like they're not taking advantage of mistake. Like for
Hmm.
example, um, Jose Abreu when he was batting in the ninth, he foul tipped two fastballs that were like
Yeah.
like
There,
when
there were mistakes too.
yeah, when he's on, he's that's a Crawford box shot. So I don't think there's room to panic yet. You know, it's just a tough stretch they're going to, but the Astros are a professional team with many veterans, and I know they have a lot of young guys, but what they're getting about the Astros, they have so much veteran leadership that they'll
Hmm.
find ways to pick it up.
Yeah, these are the defending world champions. They were there in the postseason through the tougher crowds from Seattle to the Bronx to brotherly love over there in Philadelphia. And like you were saying, I mean, the opportunities, they had a bunch of opportunities. Corey Jokes, bases loaded, one out. All you have to do is hit one somewhere in the outfield, and you're bringing in Yainer Diaz. I trust Diaz's speed to score that winning run. And I mean, tip your cap to the Reds manager, David Bell, for walking Jeremy Pena with runners on first and third with one out and making sure to get that double play still with Corey Jokes getting the rookie to be the hometown hero on that play right there.
The positive of that at bat is for jokes is that now he has that experience with that. I think this was his first
Situation.
like high leverage situation where, when that bat can win the game, and I'm sure he had nerves. His dad was there, Father's Day, like it's just like
Now
I feel
fans on
like
their feet too.
yeah. So
Hmm.
now that he has that one out the way, I mean, I think next time he'll relax and put up a better at bat.
Yeah, so real quick, I just want to update you with the standings. Rangers are 44-27. The Angels, like I said, they had taken the second spot in the division, 41-33. They're 4.5 games back from the Rangers, and then it's the Astros, 39-33, 5.5 games back, and then you have Seattle creeping up. They just got to 500, 35 and 35, 8.5 games back. But let's end on the positive note from this series, even though they did lose three and they're on a 4 game losing streak right now. They're 3-7 their last 10 games. We got to throw some positives in this series at least. And Angel, give me your shout outs from this Cincinnati series against the Reds.
Oh yeah, let's go with the mustache, JB France. He
Yes.
pitched well. 6.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. That's a quality start in the book. He did receive his second loss of the season, but that's more of the Astros offense that
Mm-hmm.
didn't provide any run support. And I feel that's a trend for JP Francis starts. Like he does good, but that run support isn't there. Um, but he's looked good. Now it'll be interesting to see how he looks further on in the season when it's close to September and those games are starting to
Mm-hmm.
really like count a lot more. But so far he's good. I think he's made for this position and he's earned his spot in that fifth man rotation because I know Brandon Bielek was brought down and
Mm-hmm.
Renault Blanco was kept, so I think the Nationals going back to a 5 man rotation, and Renault Blanco earned that fifth spot, and so did JP France earn the spot in the rotation.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a minute with Brandon Bielak going down. But like you were saying, JP France too, great start in the book. Like you were saying, I mean, the Astros offense was just not there. And when they score about 1 to 2 to 3 runs a game, they got a losing record. I think it's like 4-20 something. It's really pitiful. And you hate to see that for JP France throwing a great game. He was doing everything. I mean, 4 hits, 2 runs, like you were saying. I mean, just great pitching. I mean, the next test for him is going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers when they go over there
Yeah,
to LA. And Astros fans and Dodgers fans, and I mean, I think Major League Baseball already knows the Astros and Dodgers is going to be one of them high leverage games that it's
yeah,
going to be a postseason atmosphere because Dodger fans are ready. I mean, ready to look at these Astros and start booing them.
yeah. That'd be an interesting start to see like the toughness of JB France. Like how you were saying, that atmosphere is going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Dodgers fans can really hold a grudge going, so it's going to be really tough. So like if he can perform, I'm set with him having a great season.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I'm gonna go my shot. I'm gonna go with Jose Altuve. It was tough not seeing him in the lineup on Sunday's game because I mean
Can they
he
get
had
in
a
that bat?
yeah he did get one at bat and he did strike out. But 4 for 9 this series, 1 home run, 1 RBI. He had a 4 for 4 night on Saturday. And he also is now the franchise leader in 4 hit games with 35, passing up Craig Biggio, who had that record at 34. So little Giante doing what he can. And like I said, and I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for both of us, this guy is going to have his number retired in the rafters. But it was a great game on his part. And you just love to see that part too from him because even though he's not in that leadoff spot, which is, I'm very intrigued and I really want to know why he's not, but I mean, he had a great night on Saturday with a tough loss, losing 10-3. But it's a great sign for Astros fans to see this guy start hitting because if he starts hitting and starts hitting in the gaps or even into the Crawford boxes, look out. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I like him in that two spot. Not gonna lie, I feel like your best hitter is
I
always
think he's a little bit more comfortable in the two
yeah.
spot. I
And
feel
then
like it is.
years back, Altuve said that he didn't like leading off, but I'm sure he adjusted and adapted to that role. But I like. Go ahead.
I mean, he hit 300 last year
Yeah,
being a
yeah.
leadoff spot.
So I mean, he adjusted like
Mhm.
right away, but um, like you saying, I feel he does feel more comfortable in that two spot. But no, like he looks great. I think your best hitter should be number two. So I think Jose Altuve is one of the
Mhm.
key hitters for the Astros. And actually, a little tidbit. So as you know, Jose Altuve just passed Craig Biggio for 35, right? 4 hit
Mhm.
games. Now he's second. The only active player to have more 4 hit games is Miguel Cabrera with I think 42 if I researched correctly. So it's Miguel Cabrera has
Nice.
42 4 hit games, and then the second active is Jose Altuve with 35. And he
Okay.
had
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was gonna say he has yet to have a 5 hit game. So
Mhm.
now, do you think that would happen?
I hope. I really hope. I mean, he's already had so many multiple 4 hit games. All he needs is just one 5 hit game to
Yeah,
be on there.
I don't know what it is, but what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say too. Do you think he reaches 42 at least at the 40 mark, or do you think it
It's
won't happen?
possible. It's possible because like
I think those are rare though too. Four
yeah,
hit games.
the hit that really like that I really liked. the most was his first hit, which was like in the first inning where he just threw the bat out there and it
Hmm.
went right down the line. Because I mean, like that's just how great of a hitter is. Like able to adjust mid swing or mid pitch and like do do what like take what the pitcher's giving him. It was an outside pitch. He took it
Yeah,
outside, and you know,
especially a guy like Hunter Green who throws
oh
100. He could reach
yeah,
them triple digits, and Altuve hit two down, really both down the line. Actually,
yeah,
one was a line drive, and one was kind of like like a line ground ball. I don't
yeah.
know how you would say it.
No, yeah. So I mean, all great at bats, and he did cap it off with a home run. So it was a good night for Jose Altuve. But there's another guy who's been on a tear lately and has came up pretty clutch for the Astros. That's Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
He was 4 for 11 with two RBIs and two walks. Now, I feel like Kyle Tucker's not getting enough credit for this season. He's because just he doesn't make a lot of noise like
Mhm.
a silent assassin, how we called him, or like prior in like prior's podcast. But he gets the job done. He capitalizes whenever he can, and he plays great defense. So you know, shout out to Kyle Tucker for keeping the Stros. Like I feel like giving the Stros a chance in this series. Like there was chances where the Astros could have taken off, and Kyle Tucker was the main one providing those.
Yeah,
Uh,
last 7 games for Kyle Tucker too. Real quick, 11 for 26 with a home run, 3 RBIs, 3 walks, 3 stolen bases too. He's been
mhm,
moving on the base path. 423 average, 467 on base percentage, and a slugging percentage of 617. I mean 615. So if he continues to stay red hot like this, it's gonna be great because losing Jordan Alvarez, and I've said it way before in the last season, I said Jordan Alvarez is the heart of this lineup. Even though Altuve is the heart of the team, and Alvarez is the guy for the lineup. He is
yeah,
the heart of it because without him and without his presence in that lineup, no, not a lot of RBI production right there. He led the MLB before he got hurt in RBIs as well.
RBIs. Yeah.
So it's a real damper on that Astros lineup without him. But Kyle Tucker stepping up like this with that average, if he could have that RBI um, opportunities and things like that, it could work out just for him, just like Alvarez did.
Yeah, for sure. And then some roster moves. Right-handed pitcher Sean Dubin was caught up, and the Astros option Brandon Belag. So I feel like this again, how I mentioned earlier, the Astros are going to a five-man rotation. Brandon Belag was the odd man out, but I do want to shout him out because he played the part really well.
Yeah,
He threw some tough innings. He stayed tough throughout the entire times he was there. So a shout out to Brandon Pilek for saving some of the Astros' arms. And Sean Dubin will be part of the bullpen. I think he was a starter uh, in AAA, or did he come out the
no,
bullpen?
I think he was coming out of the bullpen as well.
Yeah, and I've heard good things from him, so I think he'll be a great addition because again, the Astros bullpen has been taxed. Again, I think in Game Two of Cincinnati, the Astros were out of their high leverage relievers like
Guys, yeah,
Presley,
Neris,
Neris,
Abreu,
right? So it's just to give the arms a little bit more of a break. Bring Sean Dubin. He has his pitch in the minors, so he should be ready to go. It's a good call. I mean, they actually did mention in the beginning that Renault Blanco, they were looking for him to be a starter, and it's happening, right? So now it was June. He pitched a pretty good
mhm.
game on Sunday, and we look forward to that. And I picked him up on my fantasy team, of course. But the Astros acquired another move. Is
Breaking news. Breaking news on fantasy baseball with Angel Can too.
the Astros acquired right-handed pitcher Joel Kuno, I think that's how you say it, from the Reds in exchange for cash consideration. So Kuno had two appearances for Cincy this season. It was on April 4th, 2023 and June 9th. It, in his first appearance, he did pretty good, and now any runs, and then his second one was the complete opposite. You think he got like in that game, he had a 13.50 ERA. Now in total, in those two starts, it's an 8.10 ERA. Now I'm thinking, all right, it's the major leagues, right?
Mhm.
Let's see what he did in the minor leagues. And what I saw wasn't too I don't know, I lost the word, like too exciting, I would say.
Mhm.
In the minor leagues, he has a 1-2 record, 7.2 ERA, 24 innings pitched. He's allowed 30 in those 24 innings pitched. He's allowed 31 hits, 19 earned runs, two home runs, 11 walks, and 15 strikeouts. So when I'm looking at that, I'm I'm focusing on that strikeout to walk ratio. It's 11 to 15.
Mhm,
So what I'm thinking is, and again, I haven't seen him pitch. That's the washer dryers then. I haven't seen him pitched, but just by looking at those stats, I think it's a command issue. Um,
mhm.
when you allow so many walks and a lot less strikeouts, it's because you're leaving a lot of mistakes up front, especially with that 7.2, 7.12 ERA. So
Yeah,
what I'm thinking, and I'll ask for your thoughts right now. So I think this is going to be one of those pitcher experiments how we saw it, how what they did with Gary Cole and other pitchers, where they're not doing so hot for their teams, but the pitching coaches have a plan on how to, and like seeing this guy perform on either video and have a plan for him to turn it around. So I think it's just be like one of those pitching experiments. What do you think, though?
I agree. I think it could be a pitching experiment. If you look at the past guys, even in the bullpen right now, you have Rafael Montero. I mean, he
Yeah,
was
I forgot
bad.
about.
I mean, right now he's a little bumpy, I would say. Even though I don't want to say he's doing really bad, but that's a bump on the road for him right now. Hector Neris coming from Philly. You had Ryan Stanek coming from Miami. I mean, the starting pitchers you were saying with Cole, Charlie Morton, and all these other guys. You never know. I mean, this could work out in a good way for the Astros, or like you were saying, this could go bad as from Pedro Baez. I was thinking of him
Yeah,
from the Dodgers that they really didn't get to utilize him a lot because he was always discomfort or hurt or however you want to say it. And then plus, whenever he pitched, I mean, it wasn't a good outing for him. So, like you said, it could be a blessing in disguise. We just have to see what they do. And the Astros pitching coaches already know what they're doing, and they've done a really great job and great work in the past preparing these guys for the majors. So, hopefully, it goes all well. It's just funny, too. I find it because the Astros are always trading. The past three trades that they have done are two trades, at the trade deadline, being Christian Vasquez the same game at Minute Maid Park. They just switch sides. Um, 2 years ago, you got 2021 trade deadline. Rafael Montero and Kendall Graveman, Abraham Toro on Seattle.
that was at
Switch
Seattle.
sides. Well, yeah, at Seattle, but you know what I'm saying. They're
Hmm.
just switching dugouts, and then against the Reds for cash considerations.
And then
So
Christian Vasquez, I don't know if you mentioned him.
yeah, I did. I
Okay,
said the
okay.
Red Sox
My bad.
when he had
My
got
bad.
traded.
My bad.
So
I was reading the out.
nah, you're good. So I mean, like you're saying, it could be a blessing in disguise. You just don't know. Of course, when you see that 7.12 ERA, that's not really what you want to say, but it could be command issues, like you were saying. It could be that big issue with the walk to strikeout ratio.
But shout out to the pitching coaches. Like I think this is like their first year.
Josh Miller.
Yeah, like their first year since Brett Storm left. I think
Nah, not first year. It'd
second
be
year.
there. No,
No. Yeah.
after either after the 2020 season or 2021.
Oh wait, I'm way off. But I
Yeah, you're
mean,
way off.
well, they done a good job again.
Yeah, they have.
The
Mhm.
Astros are the top team in pitching. So I don't know. I think teams are gonna be looking at them at the end of the season.
Yeah, just hopefully, they get going and hopefully they built this arm up. But let's get to the preview against the New York Mets, the Metropolitans, the amazing Mets. So they haven't been amazing this year so far as I mean, it's a shocking to me because this team was spending at free agency on with the winter meetings, getting Cody Senga, um, Carlos Carrasco, Francisco Lindor. I mean, they have all these guys that are pretty good. They just signed Brandon Nimmo back. You had Jeff McNeil being the NL batting champ last year.
Almost Carlos Correa.
Almost Carlos Correa, but Carlos Correa's little trip around the world, well, really around America for free agency. But they have a 33-38 record, fourth in the NL East, 3-7 in their last 10 games. Like I said, this is a very shocker because they have the pitching, they have the talent on the infield to the outfield, even on the offense, but it's been hard for them to produce lately or even keep a lead. I mean, them and the Astros right now, it's just been bad. But let's start off. Monday, 7:10 start time. You got Hunter Brown, which I had thought Hunter Brown was going to pitch that outing last time in that rotation, but I didn't get that right. He'll be going against Max Scherzer, 5-2 with a 4.45 ERA. That does not sound like Mad Max that Major League Baseball knows, and the baseball fans know as well. Hunter Brown, though, last outing versus Washington, 7 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. And you had said it. I had asked you before, what are you looking to see from Hunter Brown? Are we going to see the same Hunter Brown against Washington Nationals? I'm asking you that again. This is going against a New York Mets team that have better players, I would say, than the Washington Nationals. What do you think about this outing for Brown going against the Mets?
This is going to be a key matchup. Again, I know the Mets are not doing so good, but and they paid a whole lot of money for their players and they're not showing out. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, these hitters have like they've done good and they've shown that they can
Mhm.
be great. So it just takes one game to get that whole lineup raveled up and fired up. And I hope, and Astros fans hope it's not Hunter Brown, but again, as long as he can keep his command issue, he should be good. This is gonna be like I feel like it's gonna be like a tough matchup where it could be like a wild card spot atmosphere. Like it's gonna be a tough team. It's gonna be a tough
Mhm.
matchup for Hunter Brown, and it'll be exciting to see like if he does good. Then I think he'll be great in those tough spots, postseason matchups. But if it's not so good, then we'll be able to tell more from that, like from that matchup.
Yeah, Mets fans really travel really well. I discovered that last year when we went to a a game at Minute Maid Park and it was against the Mets, and there was a lot of Mets fans out there. So I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a bunch of them this coming week on Monday through Wednesday. But like you were saying, them batters is gonna be a key matchup for him. The command's gonna be a huge matchup because if one mistake happens, you can see a ball in them Crawford boxes, or you can see the balls in the gap. So we'll talk about one Met batter that is going to be coming back into that Mets offense. But Max Scherzer, on the other hand, rough outing against the New York Yankees. If you don't know, that's the Subway Series. Get your MLB facts going. Three and a third, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. That was a big damper on my fantasy baseball team since we're talking about a little bit of it on here. Last 2 starts in June too. He's been struggling. 9 innings pitched combined, 18 hits, 11 earned runs, and no walks, 12 strikeouts. But the thing with Mad Max is he's had success against the Astros, and the last time he faced the Astros was when he was in a Dodger uniform. He's 4-1 with a 3.27 ERA with 69 strikeouts against the Astros. Angel, are we going to see the Astros offense kind of revamp themselves up and be able to attack Max Scherzer like they have done in the past?
Although I think they can. Again, Mad Max has a reputation and he's a hard pitcher to hit against, but I think they can. And some keys that I feel like they need to look for is if you're a right-hander Astros batter, what you're looking for is a fastball slider combination.
Mhm.
He's gonna throw a lot of fastballs and try to blow it by you, but he also throws a lot of sliders. He's actually thrown 177 sliders. All those 177 have been to right-handers. He has yet to throw a slider to a left-hander. So
Wow.
um, again, that's what you're looking for,
Mhm.
and you're looking for him to make mistakes off that slider because on his opponent batting average is 319 on the slider, and that's his worst one. So
That's crazy.
yeah, so you're looking for sliders mistakes, slider fastball combination. If you're a lefty, you're looking. He tends to mix it up a little bit more, but it's mostly going to be fastball and changeup. So that fastball changeup combination. He throws a little curveballs in there, here and there. He doesn't throw curveballs that much to right-handers, more to left-handers. So that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Astros are going to have to attack the mistakes. I mean, they had a bunch of mistakes the last game against the Cincinnati Reds, and they didn't take advantage of it. They got to take advantage of it right
Yeah.
here. And honestly, too, I think they got to have a sweep or they got to win the series because being swept against the Cincinnati Reds, now the record is about 2-4 in this homestand so far. So got to take advantage of Mad Max's mistakes. Tuesday's matchup, we got a 7-10 start time. We got Framber Valdez on the mound, 6-5 with a 2.27 ERA. And his other guy on the other side is to be determined, but I'm going to throw
Yikes.
a big guess out there. And I think it's going to be Justin Verlander. It's usually Max Scherzer, and it's going to be Justin Verlander being in that 2 spot. So we'll talk about Valdez real quick. His last outing versus Washington was great. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Did not get the win as well as Christian Javier in them outings, if you remember to our last episode. So Valdez is looking for a dub for a change. He's the top, I think, believe he's in top 5 in ERA as well. He's done really well in the American League. I could see him getting some votes and being a potential representative of the Astros at the All-Star game. But Justin Verlander, his first time being in Houston, I'm just going to guess, I'm just going to think it's going to be him. His first time being in Houston since 2017. with the Detroit Tigers. So I think it's going to be a warm welcoming for him. Two, he's going to get his World Series ring from the Astros. And his last outing against the Yankees was really well. I mean, any outing, he's done that so many years for the Astros. He did it for the Mets that game. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Angel, Justin Verlander against the Houston Astros. Doesn't sound weird, right? Because
Yeah.
JV's been with the Astros so many years, about what, 6 years, and now he's not with them no more. So, yeah, I mean, all smiles, I mean, hugs, and all that's going to be before the game. But when they're in the box, Astros got to focus in because anybody that knows him more than himself is Martin Maldonado. You see a
Yeah.
big game coming from the machete himself. Do you see any home runs, anything like that? 101 career happening.
Well, that's what I was. That's what I was gonna go with. He already cracked 101. Hey, I'm sorry. He already cracked 100. Could be
100.
101 right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
So could
so
be.
it's going to be a fun matchup right there because Framber Valdez was always that number two guy behind Justin Verlander, and now it's kind of like I'm that guy now. I'm the ace on the mound for this team. I'm taking over as Verlander had did so many years for the Astros. So fun matchup right there for Tuesday. Wednesday, you got Christian Javier. This is a 110 start time. 110. 7-1 with a 290 ERA. That is so chef's kiss. I mean, that sounds so beautiful saying that. 290 ERA, 7-1. Great season so far for Christian Javier. To be determined is going to be on the other side.
Oh
So
man, that's
yeah,
tough.
it's gonna be a hard matchup. We don't know who it's gonna be for the Mets. Like I said, on Tuesday, it could be Justin Verlander, but to be determined. TBD. We'll see. Christian Javier's last outing versus the Nats: 6 innings, 5 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, 2 strikeouts. So El Reptil, you know that 2 strikeouts. I mean, that's not him. But right now, like we had said before, the WBC, the velocity went down. I mean, it's gone down about 2 or 3 miles per hour, I believe, and now he's kind of getting that ground ball and pop fly ratio. So nothing wrong with that. I mean, look at the trend he's at 7-1 with a 290 ERA. I think everything's working just fine for Christian Javier. But like I was saying before, Angel, I'm looking for a series win against the Mets. The Mets have struggled through the not through the years, but through this year, finishing games, and Astros have done great scoring a lot of runs in the seventh, eighth, in the ninth inning, and when it gets to when it gets time to close out the ball game. So never know, potential sweep, but I feel like the Astros have an opportunity to get a serious win against a team that's been struggling for holding leads.
Yeah, if the Astros are ready to turn it around, are ready to turn around, this is going to be the series to do that. Again, hit the opponent when they're down. Again, the Mets haven't been all that great, and the Astros need to take advantage of that. But now it's time for our offensive pitching MVPs and our hot take. I don't even want to talk about mine, so
Nah,
we're not
man,
going to go back to that.
you gotta say
If you're interested, go hear the other podcasts. Now, Abreu wasn't available for a high leverage spot, so I think he only came in one game.
I
Brown
mean, how did you not say he didn't have a? You literally had a take explaining he had a high leverage situation the last game.
today? Oh, I forgot already.
Yeah, she did. God, come on now.
All right. Brown didn't even pitch, and then the Astros hit a home run in every game. Well, they didn't hit a home run in the first game, but they did in the other two games. So,
Mhm.
0 for 3. Um, so mine, I can never bet against this player. He's always every time I pick him, he does good, and that is Christian Javier. I had to take him again, right the way he's been doing good. My offensive MVP is Kyle Tucker. I jinxed Jose Abreu uh
Oh,
last time. I hope I don't jinx Tucker as well. You know what? I
please, please.
I I got confused. I was thinking when I said Abreu, I don't know why my mind went to Brian Abreu, but you're right. Jose Abreu did have a high leverage situation. You're right. My bad. Completely out of it right now.
Yes, yes,
So
you are.
Kyle Tucker, my offensive MVP, and Astros take 2 or 3 against the Mets. Now I know that's what they want, and that's not how much of a hot take. But after being swept against the Reds, I think that's gonna be
That's
a
the
hot take.
goal.
Yeah,
That has to be the goal right now
yeah.
for them. And the Astros player know themselves. But real quick before I start with mine, the Mets bullpen, sixth worst in the National League with a 4.19 ERA.
So there you go. That's your strategy.
There it is. And for and home run wise, they lead. The bullpen leads, giving up the most home runs in the National League.
That's
So
because I wonder where all our money went.
exactly. So you got to take full advantage of it. We were saying in our preview, but my offensive and pitching, I think it's dubs right there. I had Kyle Tucker, 4 for 11. That's a three something batting average. You had JP France. The stash was amazing. He did great. The hot take was not there. Brandon Belak and Ronel Blanco kind of got me there. I had Reds will only score a total of 6 earned runs against the starting pitchers. That did not happen. That was more than 6 earned runs. But new series, I got Jose Altuve. You sat him down Sunday after going 4 for 4 on Saturday. He has to. I mean, you got to warm him up. You got to get him going. Two potential Hall of Famers that are going to be pitching, being Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander. You got to see how he's going to go into that situation. And then my pitching MVP, Framber Valdez. I got to go with the franchise because, like I was saying before, he's been under JV's wing so long, and being that number two guy, now he's the ace of this franchise after JV left. It's his time to shine, and he's going to go put out a show on Tuesday night and show the Astros why he needs to be paid and to stay in Houston for an extension. Hot take. This is a hot take. Like I said, Astros will score a minimum of 3 earned runs against Max Scherzer.
It's bold.
That is very bold. But looking at his two starts in June, which was 11 earned runs, could be a possibility. Three is a great number right there. Hopefully, Astros don't score 3 runs because that's not a great number for their offense. But a minimum of 3 earned runs, I feel like they could do it. And like you were saying, Angel, it's going to be a must for these guys to take at least 2 out of 3 against the New York Mets after getting swept by the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a really interesting matchup all around. I think this is more like a pitching matchup, how it was against the Reds, like that first game where it was like 2-1. I think that's
Oh, that
really,
was a great game. I was
yeah,
gonna say that too.
it was a great pitching matchup. But Abbott looks like the real deal after those.
Two
Like,
rookies too doing that.
yeah,
But it looked really great.
yeah, the future's bright for them. But it is time for around the league now. When I'm gonna give you some shivers right now. When Altuve got hit in the World Baseball Classic, we all saw how he got hit in the thumb. He was out
Hmm.
for like
Two,
a long time,
about a month. Yeah, we'll just say it like that.
2 months, and then Pete Alonso got hit in the hand about a week ago or a few weeks ago, 2 weeks,
Hmm.
sounds about right.
Yeah,
Against the Braves after he was, I'm not gonna say it was intentional. It could have been, but he was barking at the Braves, and then his next few, I think it's the next at bat or the second to next at bat, he got hit in
yeah,
the hand, and he was out with a wrist bone injury, bruise and sprain. But it just shows you how much of a dog Peter Alonso is, because he is back. He
the
is
polar
back.
bear.
He was supposed to be gone for about 3 to 4 weeks with a left with wrist bone bruise and sprain, and now he just returned. So it was just 11 days
11
in
days, man.
the IL. So he was active right away. It's that polar bear, that toughness, that dog in him. I'm put a picture of the two pit bulls with the X-ray, for Pete
Now, but
Alonso.
you got to put it on the wrist though on that
Yeah,
one.
on the wrist. There you go.
But I honestly think though he has a padding on his batting glove. With
Okay.
I think that's what helped him right there because I mean Altuve doesn't wear none of them things. It's not like Jeff Bagwell back then had padding on the batting gloves whenever he was up to bat. But Pete Alonso is just dude
Yeah, he's a
solid
beast.
as it comes.
He's a beast for sure, for sure. And then I think they should change the instead of being the Los Angeles Angels, it should be the Los Angeles Otanis, because he is leading them in every single category. I don't know if you saw,
Hmm.
he's leading
Yeah.
them offensively, and not just that, he's number one. He's leading them pitching wise too,
Hmm.
and he just had a career night as well. Shohei had a career milestone. He has hit already 150 home runs so far. He did it against the Kansas City Royals. The next day, he proceeds to hit another home run and took the MLB lead with 24 home runs. Like, that
Yeah.
is crazy. So
That's how you know he's so special to this game, dude.
the Los Angeles Otanis are second place, and they're not too far away from the Rangers. But yeah, so my question to you is he winning the MVP this year?
I think so. I honestly think he's gonna win. If he wins the MVP, I could see a potential winning the Cy Young too.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
could be a
he's
great
pretty good.
potential of him winning that Cy Young if he leads every category in that Angels not bullpen but the starting rotation. And even though the starting rotation isn't the strength of the team, it just shows you how like important he is to that ball club because they're second place just because of him. Really, no
Yeah,
nobody else. And that's even having Mike Trout on your
yeah.
team.
Mike Trout's actually struggling. I think he's in a little slump right now, but
Yeah.
he carried them against the Rangers too. I think he had like 2 home runs that
He had
series.
three. I think
Three
he had
home
three home
runs.
runs too.
Okay,
One of them,
yeah, there you
six
go.
hundred million plus.
Special. So anytime the Angels come to town, buy your tickets because you're seeing a generational talent, and
Mhm.
you can tell your kids about him, your grandkids that you saw Otani play. So buy those tickets
Babe Ruth 2.0.
for sure, for sure. But a possible Yankee is set to return as well. The Yankees announced that Carlos Rondon will begin his rehab assignment on Tuesday, June 20th, for the Double-A Somerset Patriots. Now, again, if you're a Yankees fan, this is good news because I know that pitching rotations they'll beat up and they can't use their sticky stuff anymore. So they're in need of some help. So what do you think about that?
I think it's great for Yankee fans to hear that the guy that they paid what about
A
two something million, two
a
hundred
lot of
something
money,
million,
a lot of money.
yeah, about 4+ years. Now he's finally gonna pitch, and it's no setbacks or anything like that. Aaron Judge though, no update, no timetable on him, but
I
at
know.
least you're getting a arm back. I mean, right now the starting rotation they really don't have a lot of guys. Garrett Cole's really their number one guy, and after that, I mean, you're trying to get Domingo Herman to throw some games without the sticky stuff, like you said. Nestor Cortez is still on the IL. Luis Severino's just coming back.
Eh,
I mean, there's a lot of guys that they need right now, and Carlos Rodon's one of
Yeah,
them.
and they just lost back-to-back series against the Red Sox too. Like they actually got swept. I think this time around.
I know the first time we were talking about Nestor Cortez had said something. They
Yeah.
got.
So last week when Nestor Cortez said something, they lost 2 out of 3. Now
Mhm.
they're 0-3 this week against the Red Sox, so they got swept.
Yankee fans, you do not want to hear that because that AL East is packed.
Yeah.
Rays, Orioles, Blue Jays, Yankees. Man,
Yeah.
it just sounds like the AL West right now too. But we're not that packed because everybody is losing everything. But before we go, you already know there was a bobblehead that was released this past weekend. I believe it was Saturday, and it was the Jeremy Pena Hard Hands bobblehead. We're gonna rate it real quick. Angel, how are we rating this bobblehead real quick on the box at least?
You
On the
know,
box.
the lines in the middle of the Houston Heat, in the middle of a Houston Heat advisory, Minute Maid was packed with people for this bobblehead. I know it's the first 10,000 fans, but I don't know. Give it an 8.
Give it an 8 so far.
8.
That is with the box. I'm
Ooh.
opening up. Everybody's hearing the little crumbles in the
You
background.
know what? I think it's worth $20 now. Since you took it out the box.
So there it is. Jeremy Pena heart hands bobblehead. I mean, the heart kind of looks like a heart. It's almost like, it's like
Mickey Mouse, bro.
ovals, Mickey Mouse. Then the Pena in the back. So we're gonna give this an 8. You said
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.
I'll go with the I'll go with the 8 as well. I wish they would have put like the logo, the World Series logo, right there, because I mean that's when he kind of like started doing it a little bit more.
Well, that's why you go to Strozo Customs.
Yes, you do. If you need these done. Anyway, that is all for our show. We gave the bobblehead a 8 rating, which it's not the best one we have done. I think the best one what is the Framber one, right?
So far, I think so.
Framber Valdez has been number one right now. I think maybe number two is Kyle Tucker, and then this one. We gotta go back and look at our things, but that's all for our show. Continue to subscribe and listen to our podcasts wherever you get them: Spotify, Apple, Google. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok and at Twitter. Andrew, you got anything else before we sign off?
No, just peace out. Enjoy your weekend. Stay warm. I mean, stay cool.
I mean, the weekend already passed,
Hey, but it's
so
still gonna be hot, so stay cool.
okay, stay cool, but do not enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your week. How about that one?
There you go. I didn't even catch myself.
Yeah, but we will talk to y'all at the conclusion of this Mets series. After that, the Astros will be going on the road. Like I said, they'll be playing the Dodgers. After the Dodgers, they'll be going to St. Louis. After St. Louis, they'll be going to Texas, and then they'll come back home playing against the Rockies and the Seattle Mariners before they head out to Seattle. So that's a big stretch of baseball games going right there. But we will talk to y'all the conclusion of the New York Mets series. Talk to y'all later.
Peace.